Okay, let's take a look at how to solve these problems on our last review. This first one is find the GCF of 8 and 32. I'm going to use tic-tac-toe. I'm drawing my tic-tac-toe board. I know that 8 can go into both 8 and 32, so I'm going to write 8. 8 times 1 is 8, and then 8 times 4 is 32. Nothing else can go into that 1 and the 4, so the 8 is our answer. To find the LCM of 6 and 15, we're going to set it up very similarly. We're going to do the exact same thing. 3 can go into 6 twice, and 3 can go into 15 5 times. Nothing else can go in that 2 and that 5, so we're going to multiply all 3 of those numbers together because we're finding the LCM. 3 times 2 is 6. 6 times 5 is 30. Okay, find the GCF. Going to set up our tic-tac-toe board. If you want a list, you can do that instead. See, a 12 goes into 24 twice, and a 12 goes into 65 times. Nothing else goes in that 2 and that 5, so 12 is the GCF. Now we're going to do LCM. So we have 12 and 18. I'm going to do a smaller number this time so you can see what happens when I go down to the second row. See, 3 goes into 12 4 times, and 3 goes into 18 6 times. Now in this case, a 2 can still go into those, so we have 2 goes into 4 2 times, and 2 goes into 6 3 times. Nothing else can go in that 2 and the 3, so we're going to circle all this right here. We're going to multiply it together. So we have 6 times 2 is 12, 12 times 3 is 36. GCF of 30 and 48. See, 6 can go into both of those because 6 goes into 35 times, and 8, 6 times 8 is 48. Nothing else can go in that 5 and the 8, so our GCF is 6. Our last one on this page, we have a 5 and a 10. 5 goes into both of those. 5 goes into 5 once, and 5 goes into 10 twice. LCM, so we're going to multiply them all together. 5 times 1 is 5, and 5 times 2 is 10, so 10 is our answer. Okay, this next page, we're going to look at ratios. And we're going to write in simplest form and then explain its meaning. There are 5 circles and 10 triangles. What is the ratio of triangles to circles? So there are 10 triangles. There are 5 circles. We're going to simplify that. So for every 2 triangles, there is 1 circle. This last one was the ratio of green circles to all the circles. There are 6 green, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, over 12 total. Simplify it. So for every 1 green circle, shouldn't have an S there, sorry. For every 1 green circle, there are 2 total. These bottom 2, we're going to do unit rates. Remember, when we do unit rates, we divide by the bottom number, and we have to label. So Samantha picked 35 apples in 5 minutes. So unit rate means we're going to divide by the bottom number, because we need a 1 on the bottom. So we get 7 apples over 1 minute. Remember, if you don't label, you'll be getting your unit rates wrong because rates have to have labels. Down here's an easy one. We have 100 miles in 2 hours. Divide by the bottom number. We get 50 miles over 1 hour. Okay, the last page. Hey! If I wanted to, I could get from 1 to 4 in 1 step by multiplying by 4, but we're going to break it down into 2 steps. So we're going to multiply by 2 and multiply by 2. So 1 times 2 is 2, 2 times 2 is 4. We're going to do the same things on the bottom. Whatever we did here, we're going to do it right here. 8 times 2 is 16. We multiplied by 2 up there, so we're going to do the same thing down here. 16 times 2 is 32. So that's your answer. Let's look at this one. we could not get from 6 to 15 in one step, so we're going to have to break it down into 2 steps, so it's going to be a scaling problem. So first we're going to look at these numbers and find the factors. So we have, for 4, we have 1, 4, and 2. We're not going to use 1. 4 cannot go to 6, so we're going to have to use 2. When we're scaling, we divide first, so 6 divided by 2 is 3, and 3 times 5 is 15. We're going to do the same thing on the top. 4 divided by 2 is 2, and then, since we multiplied 5 here, we're going to do that up here. 2 times 5 is 10. So that's how we got that answer. Now let's look at our final problem. Ariel runs 3 miles a day. We're going to create a ratio table, graph, and describe the pattern. So days, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. She ran 3 days, so in 1 day she did 3 miles, in 2 she does 6, in 3 she does 9, and then in 4 she does 12. Now we're going to do the ordered pairs. So we have 1, 3. We're just going to take these numbers, then 2, 6, 3, 9, and 4, 12. And go ahead and describe it because I can see right here that's increasing by 3. And the last thing we're going to do is go and put on the graph. So I go over to 1, up to 3. Our next one we're going to go over to 2 and up to 6. Then over to 3, up to 9. Then we're going to go all the way over to 4 and up to 12. We make our line. And we are done.